What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis. Today I am not playing around with my condenser mic today. It gave me some static on the last video and I have a low pass filter ordered. It should come in by Tuesday from Amazon, and I want to say thanks to whoever made that tip for my audio setup. I've spent over $400 trying to upgrade our audio on the channel, but today just using my camera mic, kind of impromptu, but it's going to work for what we need to do today. Sorry about this transition in the sound quality, but once we get there guys, we're going to have an awesome sound quality on the channel, so bear with me. I will get there and we'll have broadcast quality audio in just a few short days without any buzz. It will sound great. So today we're going to unbox the ZOHD Talon GT Rebel. That's a lot of names in one airplane, but what's cool about this plane is pretty much everything. Whenever ZOHD comes into my studio, I get really excited, and for a lot of good reasons. I'm going to talk about some of the cool things about the Talon GT. I'm just going to call it the Talon GT. 3 words is kind of a lot to say for one aircraft, but kind of like that it's called a Rebel. You can also outfit it with proximity receiver, mid-range or long-range receiver, and flight controller, GPS setup. You can go crazy on these, and that is the fun about these aircraft. I've been a big fan of Talons for some time now. The original Talon that came out is a super cool design with that sort of V-tail on the back. It has a pusher prop in the very back traditionally, and your camera and your FPV goes up in the front. So it does accommodate a GoPro, all the different various run cams, and some other sport cams out there if you want to combo those up with your FPV camera in the front. Fairly durable, really cool, called BEPP. It's biodegradable EPP, which I think is super cool because there's tons of foam airplanes coming out all around the world, and they're all going to the landfill at some point, and it would be nice if the foam that we get will go back to the environment and not last for 100,000 years, which would be great. We don't need pieces of this stuff floating around in the ocean. So it's cool that it's biodegradable. It does have a very stable flight characteristic on this one and super easy to assemble. So let's go ahead and take a little first look at what's in the box, and let me show you all of the sides of the box here. It does look like they have a few different versions available. We can get the kit version, which if you've never built an airplane before, I don't really suggest the kit version. Get the PNP or the PNP with the FPV. If you're new, maybe get the FPV bundle. But the cool thing about the PNP for most of us is that we'll add our own receiver on here, and then we will also talk about what battery to use and FPV gear too. I'll try to put some links down below to some of the cameras that I prefer on this type of aircraft. They made some changes on this one versus the Dart XL, which is cool because I believe they watch our videos and they take notes on what we say about the aircraft. The reviewers, I've seen just about every single ZOHD aircraft out there, and right away, check this out. That's how everything is presented in here, and it looks like we might have some kind of stand here with the ZOHD logo. That's kind of cool. So you have an airplane stand. Maybe there's another one in there. Keep it up off the bench. You get how to assemble the airplane. This is your support guide here with how it goes together. And these, what's great about ZOHD stuff is it's pretty much, as it says, you know, PNP, plug and play. And you just put in a few screws here for the tail. You screw 2 of the wings together. You have your carbon spar here that goes through the entire wing assembly. And what I think is really great about ZOHD stuff is the fact that it comes with metal gear servos. I believe it's either 12 gram. I believe it's 12 gram. We'll look at the specs just to make sure, but even the linkages are on here. All of the cables are already run. And what's really neat about this wing is these newer ZOHD aircraft have sort of a plug on each side of the wing here that just simply plugs in and powers. So on some of the more expensive aircraft out there that are long range type VTOLs and larger ones, they use these type of connections. And I'm not sure what these are called yet, but they are really, really awesome. I'll find out the technical name for that for you later. But how cool is that? You just pull all this stuff out of the box, take it out of these dust cover bags, and look how short the surfaces. The control surfaces are pretty short on these wings, and they have that little sort of, instead of up dehedral, they have a little down there on this wing. And both of those wings are fairly short. We'll pull out the fuselage. Let's just go ahead and set the box over to the side here, and let me show you this fuselage. Fuselage is really sweet. I already took this out of the package and was looking at this earlier. You've got skid plate on the bottom, get a little arrow for forward there. And that skid plate looks fairly okay. The front assembly is really nice on these wings. GoPro Hero 7 or 6 or 5 fits right in there. Silver, white, or black versions. And check this out. They did a change on this version. You see these little sort of, looks like a cutout. We could take a pair of snips and make this hole bigger, which is really, really cool. On the last version, you notice I had to bore it way out to fit that. I believe it was a Foxy or Predator lens in there. So they've taken note for that, and they've made something easier for me to deal with in case I have to use that larger lens, which is really great. So the next thing we're gonna do is just go ahead and run our carbon spar through here. There's a little hole right on the edge of this wing slot. We'll go ahead and put that through there, and then you're just gonna run it through here. Gonna make sure that's the right one to go through. And you have the connector on this side of the wing. It's gonna go in all the way until it touches inside here. And you're gonna hard press this in. And I didn't hear any clicks, so it doesn't sound like there's any type of click there. If I wanted to be extra secure while I'm flying, it feels pretty tight though. Feels like it's seated pretty nicely. You can run a piece of tape across here, just front and back here, just to make sure that it doesn't come loose while you're flying or vibrate loose. What I really like about these aircraft is not only are they easy to assemble, they're also starting to add some more things on here for us, and they've taken a lot of time to kind of not really redesign things, but make it easier for us here to work with. So they have this removable bay here, this front for the battery, this is the middle for where your flight controller is going to go if you decide to add a flight controller on it. If you want to run that Maytek F405 wing version, super awesome flight controller for long range. They also stuck all of our camera mounts up front here inside the plane, so I'm just going to pull these out. And this is cool. These will go up front to hold your cameras in place, and they have them labeled this time. It says session on this one. It says GP, that's GP 567 for that, and this one says RunCam 3S if you have a RunCam 3S, which is cool. RunCam HD 2 and 4, super cool. They give you all those different mounts in the box. I'll just set those to the side. And they also have what I love, they even did this on the Dart XL, which is cool. They added this little GPS cover right here. It even says GPS on here. Has a little arrow forward. And then this is your GPS mounting spot, just behind where your flight controller goes in. Your prop is in here as well. This looks like about a 7-inch prop. They don't have it labeled, so it doesn't tell me. It'll have to probably be in the specs. So they have all your wires sort of cable tied here so that they're all fancy and together. This is your external output for your 40 amp speed controller back here, which is great. JST out, so if you need to run an external BEC. But it does have a built-in BEC on here, 5 volt. It's nice that they also upgraded the ESC for the Talon. This one is upgraded to 40 amp. I believe the Dart was rocking maybe a 30 amp. We'll have to go back and look, but there's also another power connector here for your V-tail, and your V-tail is still in the box. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Just behind the 40 amp speed controller, we have another super awesome motor here from ZOHD. This is the MK2 series, 2216 1300 kV motor. Why am I excited about that? Well, 1300 kV is a very low kV, and for airplanes and wings, a lot of times I want super low kV because if we look back to the ZOHD Orbit, that was an aircraft with a really extremely low kV. I believe it was like 1300 kV or 1200, and I believe it was a very low size motor too. I believe it was I want to say 2206 or something like that, 2306, very small motor for that particular wing. They motored it down and you got a really long flight time as a result. So I can run like a 3S 2200 on a ZOHD Orbit and get like 15 minutes. So this one, what's great about these Talons is they have a huge front end on them, and we can still get the CG correct. What's really cool about this also is that they have this mounting plate in here for your battery. They have extra large straps that they included, and you get 3 straps in this kit. So one's already installed. You can put 2 here if you really want to, but they also have notches here, which I use a Sharpie and I label different batteries where they go to balance out the CG. Because when you change battery from, say, like a 4S 5000 milliamp in here, which you can fit in here, or if you want to do a 4S 2650, the CG is going to change. So 2650 is probably going to go further toward the front. The 5000 pack is going to go further toward the back to get that CG right. So just going to be closer to the center. And if we move this wires right here, you can see there's 4 points down here for your mounting point for your flight controller. You've got a little arrow cut in there as well. It's kind of nice details that they put in here. And what we'll do is we'll probably come in from the bottom down here, probably drill some holes and come up through here. Let's see if this moves at all. We'll have to put our mounting post in there. That shouldn't be a problem. It's nice that they give you a stand though in there for your flight controller. You've got magnets up front that hold on your battery cover, and we'll just tuck this down in here. And what I also noticed, let me pull this wing off and show you something real quick. This is really cool. This might be screwed in a little bit, so there's thumb screws right here, but what's really neat about this, and it actually takes a little force to get it off here. Just gonna make sure it's on this spar right there. So these thumb screws right here, you can see this one right here, there's actually a little plastic washer around it so that your thumb screws don't fall out. And that's kind of a nice little detail that they did, because last time these were just put into the hardware pack, and this time they're already on the wing, the fuselage, and they're just ready to go at this point. So I can plug this in. I'm gonna make sure that that edge touches this edge right here, nice and flush, and then you'll get power out to your ailerons. I think everything on here looks really nice. We should have some CG points on here as well. These little slashes right here on the wing, you can see that kind of braille looking line right there. That is your CG point. So when we go to do the CG, you'll hold it here, you'll find those 2 points on each side, and you'll see if it comes to level when you let go. Now let's check out the awesome V-tail. So I'm going to stick this back on there. Just trying to take my time with this unboxing and really show you guys what the deal is with this aircraft. There we go, that's on there. Now the awesome V-tail. I love the way Talons look. I think they look so cool. They kind of remind me of like some type of experimental like government type drone or something. A lot of people use the Talon design all around the world. And this looks like very similar to the other type of twist lock fastener they have here. So there is a electric plug there for powering your digital servos. These are Metal Gear servos, so go ahead and plug those in. This looks like there's a little tab here, and this will slide in and push this down. And do this ever so gently because that electrical socket needs to make a connection. There's a little twist lock right here. You see this twist lock? We're just going to twist that so it's straight ahead. And now the tail's on. Check that out. We've already plugged in the wings and the tail. and this plane is just about ready to fly. You just have to add your receiver to it, put the prop on there, make sure the prop's going the right direction, and you're almost good to go. I will note that CG helps. It helps the CG a lot by adding your GoPro Hero 6 or 7 up in the front. It really helps balance out this plane. It does have a really nice short wingspan. It's a really compact, probably easy to travel with wing plane because it's just so easy to take apart really quickly. You can break this whole thing down in a matter of minutes. So, and then here's our stand. We can put the plane up on the stand maybe. I think this is a stand. I might be wrong about that. Let's just see if it fits anywhere here. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. It does fit on the back, makes the plane sit kind of in an awkward angle. So you also get some extra hardware in the box. They give you flight controller mounts. These are standoffs for your flight controller, which is really cool. You get a ton of ZOHD stickers in here. And let's just open this up to make sure that nothing else hiding in here. Oh yeah. Some 3M adhesive. This is looks like a plastic type of tape to go over the front end if you'd like. To add a little extra layer in front of your cameras. And this is kind of a matte finish a little bit on that. This is some extra Velcro for your battery in the box as well. I think the stickers look pretty awesome. You can stick that on the top of your wing or over here. You also get one prop in the box with some different size inserts for the back of this. Make sure you use these inserts over the top of your motor stem because you want to make sure that you have a solid fit inside here because there is a divot inside the back of this prop. If you're not familiar with airplane props, you also get 2 extra super long straps with the ZOHD logo on there, which I think is cool. These are plastic coated, which is great. No metal buckle, but maybe they'll do that in the future for our larger batteries. Pretty sweet though that you get 3 total long straps, and I got 5 sheets of stickers in here as well, which is kind of cool. ZOHD, born for FPV, MK2 series, that's the motor sticker. Traditional ZOHD logo, BEEP right here, which is cool. And a larger ZOHD logo sticker there. But I think what they have going on here so far is pretty cool. Also, this is cool. 2 different winglets for the very bottom. And these are called something different than winglets. It actually says what they're called here. Ventral fins for the very back. And there's 2 screws that go through these ventral fins. These are sort of part of the tail stabilizer, which will help keep this short tail straight. Let's see, we'll take this off. Not even sure what that's for yet, but you have this mounting point in the very back, and I might actually strengthen this up with a little bit of extra epoxy around the edges of this if I were you. Okay, and then if you want to, you can put some CA down in here and then put your 2 screws through right there. So that is how that will look from the back end. Pretty cool looking. It almost looks like a rocket. It's going to be a rocket when it's in the air because these Talons do have a nice fast cruise speed. There's plenty of venting on here as well. You have some vent here for your 40 amp ESC, and there's venting in the front along the bottom of your camera. So there's good airflow through the whole aircraft from front to rear. There's also vents on the very bottom and the back, so this air can come all the way through here, top and bottom, and you have not a whole lot of drag. There's even vents right here above the motor here, which is cool. But overall, this is an exciting aircraft. I'm pretty happy to be able to show you this and get this one going. We're going to add some, probably the Maytek F405 to it with some GPS. And if I get too excited about it, I'll go ahead and run it traditionally with maybe a crossfire on there, and we'll do some manual flying without stabilization and all that good stuff. This one does not come with the ZOHD flight controller that has stabilization on there and all that jazz. You will want to put some expo in these servos and some travel limit for your control surfaces for your ailerons. You only want these to come up just maybe like, 10 millimeters at the max. When you take off, you don't want a whole lot of throw. If you're using a flight controller, you don't have to worry about that so much because it'll do it for you. That's kind of the beauty of using iNav. So when you guys get more into iNav, and we'll start working with that more later in the tutorials on this channel, I'll teach you guys iNav in the next coming months as I also get more familiar with it. It's a learning process for all of us. But I appreciate you guys watching my unboxing and my sort of first look at the ZOHD Rebel. Talon GT Rebel. Pretty cool little airplane. I'll put some links down below for you guys to check that out. You can check out the prices and the availability of it. I would suggest getting the PNP if I were you. Adding your own receiver, and then later on we'll try to do a flight controller or maybe a build video on the channel so you guys could kind of see what's going on there with all the cables and the GPS hookup and everything. Oh yeah, and speaking of GPS, before I go, I have a GP. Actually, there's some more stickers there in the box. I have my GPS here to show you. I threw it in the box. This is the one I'm going to recommend. This is the BN880 GPS. I can get up to 20 satellites on this. This is a GLONASS GPS, comes with the wiring, and you can set this up however you like with pins. If you want quick release, maybe something happens to your GPS, you want to replace it really quickly, you can do it like that, or you can just direct solder. Either way, get a little piece of sticky foam in there to stick it down. I'll probably end up using probably a piece of Velcro on the bottom so I can take it on and off, and then maybe a piece of wing tape over top of it to secure it down, and then adding this over top of it. The BN880 is great for this plane, and this fits directly over top of it, so it fits perfect. And I'll try to put a link down below for these too. 15 bucks for a GLONASS GPS. Return to home, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for watching this unboxing. Talon GT Rebel, it's actually here. I can't believe it. My kids unboxed it the other day in the kitchen floor. You might have saw that on Facebook if you're my Facebook friend. Cutest thing ever. Take care, guys. Have a great week. It's Monday. Finally, here we go. Let's do some fun stuff this week, and more reviews coming up. I appreciate you guys subscribing on the channel. I'm Justin Davis. Peace out, guys. I'll see you on the next one.